don't think we ever fought in real life.
No.
No.
We got that out like in the performance, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Good for us.
Yeah.
All right. I remember the process. It's funny because the original script, they were doing like an 8 Mile type vibe.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
They were going to kind of go with the 8 Mile thing, and then we kind of changed a little bit and went where the show went, which was ultimately the better choice. And originally, they'd called and said, hey, so we'd like you to play Nathan. You remember that, those days. But I had already kind of been Charlie Todd and Tristan DuGray, and I'd kind of done the bad boy thing. And I was looking forward to just kind of being the moral compass and trying to do something a little different. And so I said, I'd really like to play Lucas. So I remember Mark Schwann took me over to Toland's house and said, all right, we're going to play some one-on-one. If you pass this, you're going to get the gig. And I failed miserably. And he's like, okay, all right, we got some work to do. And I just remember I was walking down the street. I don't remember what I was doing, but I remember I was walking down the street, and I happened to be in Beverly Hills. And I got the phone call that we were moving forward and that was going to be the show that we were going to do. And that I was immediately going to basketball coaching for the entire summer until we were ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I was 17, and my mom was bringing me into LA for auditions. And sort of the flip side of your story, I read for just an initial read with just me and the casting director for Lucas. And obviously I was really excited about the role because I played basketball in high school. And it was like, you know, I was not much older than the actual character. So it was right up my alley. And after that read, they brought me back in, said, we've got our guy for Lucas, but would you like to read for Nathan? And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. So after that, I did like 5 auditions with like the network and the studio executives, went to my acting coach, and he like tuned me up and made it all the way down to the end to the basketball test at Mike Toland's house, and was playing one-on-one against Brian Robbins. And he scored the first 2 points, and then he sort of pulled me aside and he was like, you know that you're playing for your job, right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, okay. No, I didn't let him score again. So yeah.
Did you dunk on him?
I did not. I did not dunk on him. But he's crafty. He's crafty out there. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I've thankfully passed that test, and I was on my way to Wilmington.
Crazy. Because then they had to pick up the pilot.
Yep.
And then we waited the whole summer to find out if we were going. And picked up in May. But I remember when I got the pilot originally, this was one of the few shows that I had read, and I had done a few other failed pilots, and I just remember writing on the cover of the script, the show's got legs.
Luke flashes in the paint, Fergie finds him on the wings. Scott for the game! Scott for the game!
You could see the beginning of something really cool.
There was something about it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got lucky.
I remember being like really excited and nervous for sure. Yeah. But the thing is I remember like you had worked in Wilmington before.
Yeah.
I had never been to North Carolina. You knew the ropes there a bit. You had worked there a bit. It was nice to have that experience there.
I mean, don't you guys ever think that maybe we belong here?
Yeah, I remember that part of it. The early days of the show, it was like I had done Dawson's Creek there.
Well, just so you know, I'm not that guy.
And so I'd spent a year already kind of learning from those who came before us, from Josh and James and Michelle and Katie and everybody. And so kind of knew the town a little bit, knew the lay of the land, which was fun for all of us. Because I mean, when we first started, it was just like, you move out to North Carolina, you're in this small town, and we're all going through the same process. We're all away from home. We don't really know anybody, and we're working with each other every single day. And that's your family. Like, these are the people that you know, and you can share something, and you have common goals, and you're aspiring for the same thing. So I think became a really close, tight family.
Yeah.
And we'll go to dinners all the time. And that was always the plan. You know, everyone get together and just go.
Yeah. I mean, I remember initially the impact on me was that I was filming where Dawson's Creek was filming. Mm-hmm. And when we shot our pilot episode, they were shooting their final episode of their series. And I remember the transpo vans taking us through downtown, and the Dawson's Creek production was shooting downtown, and I saw Katie Holmes, and I was fully starstruck. And I just remember thinking, man, they've been here for 6 years. That is wild. I can't believe that. Like, it never even occurred to me in that moment that we would be there for anywhere near that long. So for me, it was really, really cool. And I grew to love the place. Absolutely. It became a little bubble in good and bad ways, but I think mostly good.
There's always something to shooting a show on location like that, right? Wilmington became a character in the show.
Yeah.
Without Wilmington, I don't know that the show is successful somewhere else. I just don't think it happens.
Yeah.
It's a character. It's a total character in the show, and it shapes the show. The same thing it did with Dawson's Creek and these picturesque, beautiful sceneries that you get to see, and the energy, the vibe.
Scott,
What's up, Coach?
not you. You.
I remember it felt like high school in that respect. Everybody was working all the time because all the characters were together all the time. And so things like a hurricane blows through town or something like that. And it's like everybody has like a hurricane party in the hotel. And
That was fun. Those were good times.
Yeah,
Hurricane
yeah.
parties in the hotel. And the Thing episode. I don't know why, but that episode's burned into my brain.
This one's funny thing. Let's kill him last.
Wait, your name is Thing?
That's right.
that episode is the one that comes to my mind every time I think about the early days
Right?
for some reason.
And I'm thing 1.
Okay, wait, let me guess. Thing 2.
Thing 3. Because I'm third.
I remember those were the first days that I was like, oh, I just did my first 17-hour day or my first 18-hour day. And I wonder if that has something to do with it, because the days just sort of became one in that episode, especially.
Yep.
Get your clothes off, boys. You're going shopping.
Him and I think our clothes got stolen and we're running around
In our boxers.
in our boxers, with stuff written on our back, Ravens suck or something.
Yeah, yep.
And we're running around the woods as they're like running around. The things are running around, i.e. like warriors. Ravens, come out and play.
Oh, Ravens, come out and play.
And we're running around the back lot, and it was just Mosquito Valley. And I think we started work. We didn't finish, and the sun had already come up, gone down. Like, we saw the whole cycle.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite moments ever filming were our nights at the River Court.
Yes.
You ready for this? Why not? It's your life.
There's a magic in the air, and you're looking over the water, and the lights are all beautiful in the city, even though we lit most of those up ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's this fog rolling in late at night, and we got the big old helium balloons blowing up to light up and you see the battleship right there. And, you know, as the seasons went on, we had fans lined up all around the court.
Yep.
We were playing.
Yep.
It was pretty crazy. Those are my favorite nights.
And if we were shooting there, it was usually probably because we had some night work to do there, which means that we were likely going to see the sunrise, which also made it kind of magical and mystical in a way. Those were some of my earliest, fondest memories of shooting the show, as being out there on that river court that they built, you know, just for the show, and they tore it down.
Should have left it.
I would have been so cool if they left it.
Yeah.
I'd be out there shooting hoops every time we went back.
Right?
100%.
Luke for the win!
I would not consider myself a basketball player now. Can I say that I learned a lot? Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
There's no, I was surrounded by so many great athletes there. I mean, all of our guys that came, all the Ravens, they're the same guys, you know? They all had to come in. They all had to audition. They all had to play ball. They all had to be selected by Brendan, our coach, and kind of like coordinator, basketball coordinator. They all had to be selected. So all these guys were great athletes. They'd played ball their whole lives. And so when you're around that all the time, you're going to learn things. I think the big thing for me was that basketball was never my passion. I think if I would have developed a passion for it, then I would have been on the weekends playing. I would have, and they did. And I think I would have gotten much better at it. I have a passion for football. That's my sweet spot. And so, yeah, I could sit all on the weekends all day. I'm out there. I mean, I'm coaching my son out in Nova Scotia, and I love it. Like, it's the greatest thing in the world for me. So it's very similar in that aspect. But I learned enough to get by.
Now, I will say, like, you to go from, you know, you didn't play at all. And by the time I met you, I think you had been training for a couple of months with Brendan. And to go from, like, really never playing to where you were even when I first met you, it was definitely impressive. And I think, like, a testament to how much you cared about the show. Like even if you didn't love basketball, you loved the show and you wanted it to be as good as it could be. And that showed in how quickly you learned, for sure.
I didn't want to ever let anybody down. That's the hard part, is never wanted to let anybody down, you know? So like, even if you did miss a shot, gosh, everybody's got to go back to one because of me, and that'll get to you. So you really want to perform.
I think you really thrived when it was time for us to just throw up a couple full court shots at the end of the day. That's when you could really just heave it across the gym. That was great.
Yeah. It's my sweet spot.
Ball. Expect plenty more of that at the father-son game because we're going to crush you guys.
James Lafferty had the best basketball
I will
skills in the cast.
say,
Paul Johansson's good.
Paul Johansson played professionally. He was so good.
Did you ever play one-on-one?
He probably tried to get me to play one-on-one with him, but he was so much bigger than me.
So much bigger.
And still
He's such a
very,
big
very
guy.
athletic. There's no way I would have actually done it. I would have just been like, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to. No way, man. And it's wild to think that he was, what do you think he was? 35, 36?
He was 36, 37, yeah.
Wow.
When he started.
So I'm like easily 3 years older than him now than when he started.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. It's not true. There's no way I'm
Full
just
circle.
a decade older than.
Full circle.
None of us want you on the team, man. I don't want you. The guys don't want you.
He's
We're
exactly
indifferent.
like season 1 early Nathan.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Pretty identical. Like if you were like, what's James? Like you ever see early One Tree Hill when Nathan was kind of a prick? Nailed it.
Yeah, full blown.
Kidding. No, guys, amazing. Lovely. That's why they wanted him for Lucas.
I can describe Lucas in one word. Bastard.
That was the fun part, though, was playing that part of the character. That was definitely fun. I think that version of him was, I don't know, especially as a teenager, when at that time, you still have a little bit of the teenage angst that you don't know what to do with. It was really fun to just play that version of Nathan, for sure.
Well, what I find interesting about any show, I think, that goes on for a really long time, is that the characters and you kind of intertwine. For instance, Lucas became a writer a lot in part because I was constantly writing and I always wanted to write. And I think that the characters really start to come much more similar to who we were. And I don't know if that's because we're spending so much time in their shoes that we start to kind of lean towards who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about.
Or if it's the other way around.
Or it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I do know that some of it was taken because, A and B was happening in your life, and it was like, oh, well, this makes sense. Let's just do that.
Going straight into the script.
Yeah, like Lucas Scott only got HCM because Chad was not enjoying basketball. It is what it is.
Yeah, I that's a good point that you bring up, like which one comes first, because I remember feeling the same thing. I remember not knowing anymore if the dialogue, written for Nathan was in the cadence of my voice, or if my voice had become the cadence of the way that Nathan spoke.
Right.
I used to be somebody. Haley, do you understand that? Do you understand what that means? I used to be Nathan Scott, and I was great.
It's part of what comes with being on a show that goes that long. And if you're lucky enough to experience something like that, maybe you will in that way. But as far as differences or similarities with the actual character, I mean, I think I was probably the most different from Nathan early on, in those early seasons, and more similar to him later when he was much more mild-mannered. But I did miss that. I missed the hot-tempered. I was almost every season I would just wonder, where did that version of him go? I want to see it every once in a while, or a little bit more.
Right. And I remember the same for Lucas. I was like, dude, Lucas is always the moral compass of the show. Can we do something bad for once?
Yeah.
Can Lucas do something wrong,
Can
please?
he screw up?
Love a Pete. Let me screw up and have some fun with it. And, I think that that's probably why I would shave my head or do something crazy with my hair, because there's only control over anything in my life I had. Went through a lot of bad hair seasons due to that.
What is it with us actors and our hair and just doing weird things?
Because you have no control over anything.
Yeah.
So you're like, you know what?
It's the only thing I can control.
It's mine.
So I'll just shave it off.
Yeah. Or grow it out. Do a really bad job of it.
If you want to do something nice for Haley, you might want to try investing in a razor.
The hair journey. My hair journey wasn't that interesting. I did have this thing where I had to cut my hair because they needed my character to have long hair, but they were going to do flashbacks. So they ended up having to paste or like put extensions in my hair. So I had this big like long lion's mane, and then they took the hair.
When you were in the wheelchair?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they took the hair that they had cut from my head and they cut it into little tiny pieces and they pasted it with glue onto my face to do this every day for like several episodes. It took hours, and it was the summer as well, so it was so itchy.
And then you go to lunch and it's in your mouth.
Oh, I could, yeah, 100%. So yeah, that was my hair journey all in one thing there.
What happened to your head? I figured new town, new look. Okay, whatever you say, Felicity.
I went through a lot of hair journeys. There's a lot of cringe in there. But you know what?
I don't remember cringe. I don't.
Oh, it's because we're fortunate enough to not go back and do like a rewatch. Oh, I can't. If I went back and watched it.
What do you think was the most cringe?
Season 4.
Season 4.
I think this is what I've been told. So
remember, this is what I've been told.
All right,
dude.
All right, we're gonna be real. Okay, we're gonna go brass tacks real. I remember there was a liberation moment. I shaved the head, but also because I was gonna go do House of Wax. So that's kind of why I actually did internship.
Yeah,
because I wanted the character to be different from Lucas and from how I was known. You know, I just wanted to be an actor, and I think that that's what you really want is creativity. Then, as the seasons went on, I just wanted a different identity, right? So then I remember growing it out, but I didn't know how to style it. There was no rhyme or reason. I think there was a platinum blonde moment in there too, where I bleached my hair. Yeah, I went to the Bahamas with all my friends, as you do, and I lost a bet. And so
to just bleach your hair.
Correct.
Oh.
We got back to the show and they liked it and they just kept it. They didn't like dye it back to its original color.
So that's because you lost a bet.
I lost a bet, yeah. I think there's a lot of finding yourself, you know, and when you get down to the truth of it, I just had no idea who I was, and I thought I was something that I wasn't, and I wanted to be this guy, and so you're trying to do all these different things to be something, and when really at the end of the day, just be you, and that's all you can be. And it took me a long time to discover that, and to finally be like, I know who I am. Like, stop, like you're not just be you, just be happy, just be the jovial guy that you are, and I think that's why I changed my hair so many millions of times.
What are you talking about, Haley?
We got married last night.
I need to know how you feel about the fact that your character got married in high school.
Teaching moment, James.
Yes. Good question. I remember, like now it seems far more ridiculous to me than it did at the time. I wasn't that much older than the character. And I think when you are that young, you kind of feel like you should be doing anything that all adults do anyways. So like, what's the big deal? But I do remember what a big deal it was just from like everybody else's reaction on set. And the fact that it was like I think it was the first episode we had where the script, they used to give us like physical scripts instead of just sending PDFs. The script had like these red pages, like the last 2 were red. And I guess that meant like, do not photocopy these, you know, sensitive material. And reading that and just being like, oh, I guess this is like a really big deal. And then going into the makeup trailer and like, you know, Joy's in there and she's like, did you see what's going on? And that's when I realized like, oh, this is going to be kind of like a real cliffhanger or something. It's going to be a reaction here. So yeah, I mean, I think looking back on it, it seems like a crazy choice. But at the time it just felt like fun, you know. Good TV. I didn't think that like the marriage would last or anything. I was like, oh, they're doing this so that they can, you know, it can go down in flames. So that was that. But then, yeah, I think the reaction to Naley in general, it's just wonderful. Like it really makes me feel like Joy and I obviously did something right there. And it was such a pleasure to play that relationship with her. And so, you know, the fact that it went the distance for the show and the fact that it went the distance for the fan base. Yeah, I'm proud of it.
I love you, Haley.
I love you too.
Who would you say is the stronger couple, Haley and Nathan or Peyton and Lucas?
Oh, here's where we are getting set up.
Yeah, that's a major fail. Is there a right answer?
No. It's hard to say. They both go the distance, right? Like why?
Agreed.
Does there have to be?
I think, in my personal opinion, they're both star-crossed lovers, right? You got the whole thing going on there. You know, she's my best friend. He's my brother. That's, you know, the bad guy. You can't date my best friend. What are you doing? So there's that whole aspect of it. And like, you better take care of her to the end of time. And sure enough, he does. He's a man of his word, and it goes on forever. And the show literally revolves around Naley when Leyton leaves, you know, like that is the world. And then Peyton, from the pilot, it was that moment at the river court. And I said it a million times, and I'll say it again, when Luke looks at her, I mean, even as soon as she slams on the car brakes, and I'm standing there and I take the ear pods out. They're not ear pods. They don't exist back then.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know
though,
what I'm talking
definitely.
about. But when Luke looks at her and says, I'll be seeing you, and there's that moment and it hangs out in the air. That moment right there, to me, summed up the relationship that it was always going to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think points for Leyton too, for like embarking on a journey as well, like regardless of, you know, the circumstances that surrounded it having to happen. But like the character in the fictional world like went on this adventure together to go live somewhere else besides Tree Hill.
Take a ride with me, Peyton Sawyer?
Don't you mean Peyton Scott?
Which is, I think, something that Naley didn't do. Like Naley is like, you know, famous for like staying home and like being that sort of like rock. But I think there's like an aspirational sort of like, you know, ambitious aspect to the characters, to Leyton that is pretty cool. Yeah.
We're on a yacht somewhere in New Zealand. With Andy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good old Andy.
So take a look in that mirror and remind yourself to be happy, because you deserve to be. Believe that.
What was the most out there or like shocking thing that happened on the show that you both were just like, how are we pulling this off? Like,
Oh, I mean, it's got to be the scene that you were in.
Yeah.
You take it away. You were there.
I remember I begged and pleaded, please, I don't need to be there. There is no need for Lucas Scott
to be there.
Lucas. Is everything all right?
That's fine.
If you really want to do it, fine. Go ahead and write the scene, but it's terrible.
I'm getting a heart.
It's about time.
And I remember I started to care a lot more, and I started to really get more involved and just wanted to like, I don't know, I just was older and starting to try to take ownership of my own things, right? Instead of 20 or 21, I was probably 25. And I saw it, read the script, and I knew exactly what they were doing. I was like, they want this to make The Soup. Remember that show, The Soup?
Mm.
And I was like, this is a total promotional scene. I mean, I'll set it up for you. Ready?
And my dog happened to eat, say, 3 ounces of actually some really nice Lebanese hash. Would you say he'd be okay? Or no?
All things are very possible, I guess, in the spectrum of things. So if you were at home and you were making pot brownies, as one does, and you fell asleep and your dog happened to get into said pot brownies and ingest the entire tin, first thing, of course, you're going to do is take him to the ER.
Sit your stupid ass down and I'll call a veterinarian.
Next, we're going to obviously get exhausted because we also ate some of these said pot brownies and fell asleep. Meanwhile, my dog's leash is like one of those 25-foot leashes. It goes and wraps around the whole ER. And then, of course, if you're going to bring a heart replacement in, it's coming right in through the ER. And it's not locked off. The case is not locked off. It's coming right in.
No, just a standard igloo.
Standard,
you know.
Yeah, like you're camping.
Yeah.
Camping with
cooler, really.
Cooler.
Yeah.
Gonna walk right in through those doors where, in fact, my dad is waiting to get said heart. He's not in the prepping room. And if you have a trip line in the middle of an ER, you will trip. And the igloo flies and the heart goes skidding across the room. It's not in a package. It's just sitting right there on top of ice. Somehow, the dog got off the leash. I'm not sure how, but he did. Of course, I happen to be there. And as I'm standing there, it picks it up and it scarfs it up and it runs off. And I witnessed this entire thing, as Dan Scott also witnesses. And he knows that's probably his heart that just got eaten by the stoned dog who had the munchies. Wow, that's a reach.
Can I just say that was really impressive, like what you just did. Like, I feel like that should be like a show in itself. Like just you on a stool with like a spotlight, live audience, you taking the audience through that scene, just narrating it like you did. It can play on the screen behind you. That was
great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But yeah, how many times have you had to break that scene down? I mean, people must ask you about that all the time.
All the time.
It's, yeah.
The scene went down in infamy.
I get asked about it all the time. I wasn't in the scene. Like,
I asked, I said, I don't need to be in the scene. Like, yeah, it's the pin. It's the button on the scene that you smirk about it and laugh about it. I was like, okay. All right. Yeah, and that was that. That was that. But yeah, we get asked about that all the time. That was our jumping the shark moment.
I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately.
it's a great song.
It's a great song.
That's what I think about it. I mean,
yeah.
I can 100% see how people could get really tired of their own theme song for their show, or anybody could get tired of any theme song for any show because it's played so repetitively. But that song doesn't get old for me. It's a great song.
It's a great song. It's in the right genre for me. I like that it's got that rock edge to it, you know, very alternative, kind of, you know, teen angsty. I think I just reposted a thing that Hulu had posted, because the show's on Hulu if you want to stream it right now. And it said, name a better theme song. And I just don't think you can. I mean, there's a lot of great songs, right? You got like Cheers and Friends and Dawson's Creek. But that song was so pop culture that it plays everywhere, and it still does, you know? And sometimes, which is the weirdest thing, do you ever like do a cross country trip or go into some grocery store and all of a sudden it plays and you're at the checkout line and you go, oh.
Yep. Have you ever been somewhere where they played it intentionally after you walked in? Because that's happened to me. It's pretty mortifying.
Where? Do you remember?
Yeah. I was at a film festival I was at the Heartland Film Festival in Indiana. And I walked into a bar, and I was like the only person in this bar. I just stopped in for a beer real quick before the screening. And the staff was there setting up, and I sat down, I ordered a beer, and they started playing it. And the bartender was like, I'm sorry.
Jukebox.
That's okay.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. At least it's a good song.
It's a great song.
Yeah. And he's awesome as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a great guy. And that was, I think, one of the cool things about the early days was like coming to New York, you know, for
Planet
promo
Hollywood
stuff here. Yeah. Like Gavin would come with us. He's just such a cool guy. I remember really enjoying spending time with him in those early days.
So make your wish. Do you have it?
Good. Now believe in it.
What's it like when you're all back together again?
It's like nothing ever changed, man. It's like it's the same. Honestly, I just feel like the flow of conversation is the same. We spent so much time together on that show. I feel like it's pretty much like if you were to go to like a high school reunion or something, you know, everybody sort of falls back into the same sort of way that they related to each other. And it's always a good vibe in the green room, I think.
Always.
Would you ever step back into those roles?
I don't know if there's a world where it works.
Yeah. I mean, we did the show for 9 years, right? Like, we played those characters that's how I feel about it. Is like it went such a distance. I'm not sure like what the rest of that distance would be. I remember feeling like the show came to a nice ending after season 6.
You made it.
We made it.
I thought it came to a nice ending after season 4.
Sure you're up for this, old man?
I could do this forever, little brother.
Yes, there was like 4, 6, and then there was like 8 when the show was supposed to be over. You know, we were like moving out, and they're like, "Oh, just kidding, 9," which is amazing. You know, it's such a blessing. But at the same time, you gotta really wonder like what is left to be done. And I don't know the answer to that. Like, without knowing the answer to that question, it's really hard to say like, yeah, absolutely.
There are so many issues today that could be dealt with, but those issues aren't necessarily about us as they are about the youth. I mean, there is a very deep well of stories to tell that you could, but Lucas and Nathan, it's not about our story anymore. It would be about the youth story. You know what I mean? So if they found a new generation of young kids, young individuals, right? Strong actors that would go out there and tell those stories, and there was a way to incorporate these characters where they were guides, right? Like a Keith Scott or like a Barry Corbin, right? Where you just kind of pop in, you do your wink and nod, but you're a guide to help the youth grow. That makes sense to me. But it's not about, we're the old guys now.
No one wants to see Lucas and Nathan struggling with social media.
It's true. Imagine us
what
being
you're saying.
kidnapped.
It's not interesting to
and
me.
having ravens suck on our backs.
Again.
Again.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.